I spent the entire winter railing against Brian Cashman, calling the Yankees cheap, saying they were letting a generational talent slip away again. I was ready to draw up the Yankees blame chart for Bellinger's inevitable departure, but then the actual numbers dropped, and suddenly the entire narrative flipped. What if I told you that the Yankees, for once, were not the villains in this free agency saga, but were actually setting a dangerous precedent for future spending sanity? Welcome back to 604 News Now, where we follow the money trail in baseball's biggest deals. And right now, that trail leads straight to a potential $250 million dilemma that New York brilliantly dodged. Let's be crystal clear. When reports emerged that Cody Bellinger's camp, orchestrated by the notorious Scott Boras, was seeking a deal longer than 5 years and with an average annual value exceeding $30 million, the moral outrage I initially harbored against the Yankees evaporated instantly. I had been operating under the assumption that the Yankees were lowballing him, throwing out something insulting like 3 years and $60 million. But when they publicly put the polite pass out there, signaling to the world, just as they did with Aaron Judge, that they had gone as far as they were willing to, the context shifted dramatically. This wasn't a failure to spend. This was a refusal to panic. They essentially said, "We offered you a significant contract based on your last season, but we will not pay you Mookie Betts money." Think about the exclusive club Bellinger is attempting to join. He wants a seat at the table with the only other outfielders currently commanding $30 million or more per year over 5 seasons: Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and Juan Soto. These aren't just great players. These are certified perennial MVP candidates, future Hall of Famers, whose performance risk is minimal. Bellinger's career is the exact opposite of minimal risk. He had 2 seasons, 2021 and 2022, where his OPS plus hovered disastrously around 80. Yes, he bounced back last year with the Cubs, but one stellar year does not erase 2 years of statistical freefall. As my colleague, veteran baseball economist Dr. Harold Quinn pointed out, the Boras strategy here is classic, trying to sell the peak moment while ignoring the chasm he just crawled out of. But the Yankees are not a desperate buyer. They looked at the 3-year track record, not just the outlier comeback year, and determined that guaranteeing north of $175 million for a volatile asset is financial insanity. The Yankees are telling their fan base, "We went as far as we're going, and the line stops here." The strongest counterargument you hear from the Yankees crowd is, "You have the money, why not pay for the bat you need?" And they're right, the Yankees certainly have the fiscal capacity. But the error is in assuming all $30 million players are created equal. Judge earned his money through sustained excellence and leading the team to the cusp of greatness. If Bellinger had strung together 3 consecutive seasons of 145 OPS plus baseball, this would be a different conversation. But paying for the promise of sustained performance when that player recently demonstrated catastrophic failure is the kind of move that cripples long-term payroll flexibility. The Yankees putting the offer public, the polite pass, was a calculated move of genius. It stripped Boras of his leverage against other potential suitors. When the Yankees went public with a polite pass and the exact figures they rejected, they weren't talking to Boras anymore. They were talking directly to the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Cubs. They are effectively saying, "We established the ceiling. Good luck going higher without looking completely desperate." It shifts the market burden. The Mets or the Cubs now know they have to wildly overpay to secure him, a proposition that becomes toxic for fan bases already wary of bloated contracts. But let's pivot for a moment, because while I don't blame the Yankees or Bellinger for trying to maximize his value, the real villain in this entire saga is the accelerating contract inflation fueled by weak ownership elsewhere. Look at the data point of Alex Bregman's recent reported deal, potentially hitting $35 million a year. Bregman is a phenomenal third baseman, one of the best, but $35 million AAV is historically massive, bordering on irresponsible. As Dr. Quinn noted, that Bregman contract is the plot twist Scott Boras needed. It validates his ability to push non-Trout tier players into the astronomical realm. The players aren't driving this insanity. It's the owners who keep giving in. The average major league salary is now set to snowball to unprecedented heights, driven by these few massive, questionable deals. So the Yankees are right to walk away from Bellinger, not because he isn't good, but because paying him $30 million plus guarantees that they will be paying their average starting pitcher $20 million and their average slugger $15 million within the next 5 years. They're drawing a line of defense for the entire team structure. They prioritized sustainable success over a high-risk, high-reward short-term fix. They chose stability and rationality over feeding the Boras machine. It's an unusual position for the Yankees to take, given their history of blockbuster deals. But here, they deserve applause, not blame. They didn't miss out on Judge. They rejected an expensive imitation. Ultimately, the Yankees moved on quickly, signaling they are exploring trades. The reports of talks with the Cubs for Nico Hoerner are highly telling. They are looking for controlled talent and long-term value, not short-term chaos at an inflated price. The lesson here is simple. If you want the financial recognition of a Judge or a Soto, you need the sustained, undeniable statistical gravity of a Judge or a Soto. Bellinger simply does not meet that threshold, and the Yankees were justified in prioritizing the health of their long-term payroll over winning the headline of free agency. They showed financial courage, where other organizations consistently show weakness. Don't let the headlines fool you. The Yankees are off the hook, and the pressure is entirely on Bellinger and Boras to find a buyer willing to pay generational superstar prices for a volatile commodity. Now, what do you think? Did the Yankees make the right call by drawing a public line in the sand against the Boras machine, or should they have sacrificed financial prudence for the sake of winning now? Let us know in the comments below. Smash that like button, share this video with your fellow fans, and subscribe to 604 News Now for more deep dives into the economics and drama of professional baseball.